I'm clear. Okay, George. George is clear. Turn the camera on. Okay. 15. 14, 13, 12.
The closings were needed because in today's environment, in the economy, these facilities were no longer competitive and therefore needed to be phased out.
10. 9, 8, 7, 6.
And then when they decide to leave, it's just tough luck. Follow us. And it doesn't matter what they leave behind.
5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
fire.
And we're going to let the politicians know, we're going to let U.S. Steel know, we're going to let the whole country know that steel workers in Youngstown got guts. And we want to fight for our jobs.
We're still here, we're still here. Now the mills have gone away, but we're still here. With our neighbors and our kin, right here where we've always been. Now the mills have gone away, but we're still evening hangs like smoke on the steel town that I love. My thoughts, they roll and tumble through the years, and my heart dreams through the haze back to Youngstown's better days. Now the mills have gone away, but we're still here. We're still here, we're still here.
From 1977 to 1980, 3 major steel mills closed in Youngstown, Ohio. The closings left 20,000 steel workers jobless and changed the community's way of life.
This is my hometown. It's called Youngstown, and it's in the state of Ohio near the Pennsylvania boundary. In Youngstown, we make steel. We make steel and talk steel. Look down any street in town, and you'll see the mills at the end of it. There are 25 miles of them along the Mahoning River, and today they're busy day and night. Professionals here, they're all steel workers and their wives and daughters. Steel men get in the habit of doing things together, like in the mill. This is it, steel. Only a few hours ago, it was iron ore. Now it's finished and on its way to become a part of the new world it's building.
Ladies and gentlemen, the news we've received this morning from Youngstown Sheet and Tube is just the worst possible news that we as your elected public officials could have received.
At a hastily called news conference this morning, Youngstown Sheet and Tube President Jennings Lambeth laid the bad news on the line. 5,000 production employees will lose their jobs by the first of the year as a result of the decision.
You just don't know how to swallow it. It's, you hear all the rumors coming around and you still can't believe it. Now that sure they shove it down your throat, you just sort of accept it.
Youngstown Sheet and Tube goes, so does the Mahoning Valley. It's a rotten shame.
Most people said it couldn't or wouldn't happen, but now it's happening, and the impact will be far-reaching. Just how far-reaching remains to be seen, but it'll be bad. Bad not only for the employees of the Camel Works who face loss of jobs, but also for small industries who depend on the steel companies, such as trucking. For the communities of Camel and Struthers, whose budgets depend heavily upon the Camel Works, and indeed for all of us who live and work in the Mahoning Valley.
Doesn't look good for anybody. It's real terrible.
My wife and I both cried in bed. We have a house and we have kids, and as Mayor Hunter says, I plan to send my child to college in 2 years, and it'll never take place.
Myself, I don't even know whether I'll be working or not. 18 years, what are you going to do?
Got anything else lined up? Anything expected?
As far as a job, with 10,000 steel workers out of work here, plus truckers and everything else, it doesn't look good.
But in spite of the announcement, there are those who are not going to take the closing lying down.
During the first week after the announcement, there were an awful lot of meetings. One of these meetings, I ran into a fellow who had the idea that, well, if, the company won't run it, why don't we run it ourselves? We know how to make the steel, and, it was just a sort of a natural solution to the problem for me.
Gerald Dickey joined the newly formed Ecumenical Coalition. This group, made up of steelworkers, religious, and community leaders, proposed to buy and operate the mill themselves.
And the vision really became one of building enough community support so that somehow we, meaning anyone who wanted to participate, could indeed buy the place.
I remember going to church meetings where they were talking worker community ownership and the choir singing the Ave Maria in the back. And I thought this is a strange setting for talking about what many U.S. Steel people, like the chairman of U.S. Steel, called a communist endeavor.
We have asked, and we are asking tonight, whether this community, all of its citizens, its skilled steel workers and their families, might create a new kind, a new form of community-owned and operated steel plant.
People weren't about to argue with something that the Catholics, the Presbyterians, the Methodists, the Jews, every religious denomination in town thought was good. But at least the church sponsorship took away the notion that it was somehow subversive or unthinkable in Youngstown, Ohio.
Let's send a message to the nation about steelmaking in the Mahoning Valley. Let's tell the
The Ecumenical Coalition encouraged Youngstown residents to invest in a worker community-controlled mill by opening Save Our Valley bank accounts. They also sought bank loans and federal loan guarantees to modernize the facility.
It's everybody in the whole metropolitan area chip in $100 or so and see if we can't buy it, modernize it, and run it,
The decisions about questions like wages, questions like various benefit plans, whether the plant stays or goes, what happens with the resources, the savings or profit, if you will, what happens with that, how it's allocated and distributed, instead of being in the hands of a few who are concerned principally with making a profit, would be in the hands of those who are principally concerned with maintaining a community.
If we owned the plants ourselves and could run them, they're afraid they can't allow that to happen. This country can't allow that to happen. They're not just going to roll over and say to you, oh yes, that's a very nice idea. We think that's a very valid idea. We think it's a very correct idea. No, they're not going to do that. Because what you would show here in the city of Youngstown, you would set a model, you would set an example in this country that would turn over this economic system in terms of how it's run.